Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains and thanks for joining me for another video. In this video, I have some stuff here. I want to build the light up sign outside the shopping plaza that we're going to be doing. And I've already cut a few pieces already, but I know I showed this in the last video. These are the decals. This is actually going to be the sign that's going to be outside the shopping mall. Alright, so what I need to do is make the standing framework with the lighting inside of it, and that is what we're going to do today. So let's put this aside. We don't need this right now. What I need to do is build the framework. So I've already started. I have these pieces right here. These are two sides and a bottom. And just to get you caught up to speed on how I made these is I took a piece of 40,000 styrene is what I'm starting with. Most of the stuff I do is 40,000s, and I cut a 1/4 inch strip off of the sheet, okay, and I did a 1/4 inch wide, which is this right here. It's just a 1/4 inch strip of styrene, and from that I got some 40 by 40 square stock, and I measured in from each edge 1 millimeter, and I drew a line across, and then I glued down the 40 by 40 stock down that line. Alright, and that gave me this, and that's where I'm at now. And then I took the measurements from this sign here. Now, just to show you that I'm not too far off on dimensions, it probably might be a little big from anything, you know, full out realistic. 1/4 inch puts us on the scale here, on my scale ruler, at just under 4 feet wide. Just under, a little over, somewhere between 3.5 and 4 feet. So that's how thick the sign will be on the sides. And then I'm doing this sign is going to be, when I measure it up here, this sign is 24 feet tall. Yeah, it's about 24 feet height from top to bottom, this whole thing. So that's what we're looking at. So these are the pieces that I have. So I took this strip that I had, okay, this strip here. This is actually extra. I always make more than I need because, you know, I don't know how y'all do stuff, but I tend to screw up and I have to cut more. So I make more than I need, especially when we're dealing with scratch built stuff like this, little pieces that I can possibly screw up, and I do. But these are the sides right here, and what I've done with this, as you can see here, let's see, I've cut the edges back right here and right here, and that's so that these bottom pieces can fit on like this, okay, and we can glue those together and make the full framework, and everything fits the way it should. Alright, so, but before we do that, what I also have is I have some square stock. I have this square tubing, okay, and these are going to be the legs for the sign. I went back and forth on how I wanted this to come up off the ground, and I wanted something different than just round, and I happen to have some of this square tube I bought for another project, and I think we're going to use this. And originally I wanted to put it at this height here. This right here is 3 feet, 3 scale feet off the ground. So if I were to put this on top, that's how high it would be. Okay, but looking at where it's going, and you know, for the location, and if you were to look at, I want to be a little more realistic, it would have fit, but it's too low to the ground. So the problem I have is people pulling out of the parking lot through that side wouldn't be able to see down the road. So I'm going to put this at about 8 feet. So 8 feet. Let's see, let me get my pencil. I'm going to mark this off at 8 feet. So I'm going to take this, put it up to my ruler. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here. Right there. It's 8 feet. So I need 2 of those. That's going to be our legs for this stand. And this I do this with tubing because that's the channel that the wire is going to run through. So we need to have something that the wire can go through. So I'm going to use this saw here, and I use this because the chopper tends to make things slide. Things move as you're cutting it, and I can't have that. Okay, so that's our 8 feet. And now we just want to clean up the edges. All I'm going to do to clean that up, so I'm going to take my knife here, and I'm just going to go around the sides, and I'm going to pull all that off. Like that. Before we start assembling the sides and the tops and all, so I'm going to take this piece here. This piece is going to be the bottom, and we have to put the legs on, but before we put the legs on, I have to drill holes through this so that we can get the wires through here, down the legs, and out of the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure in, where's my ruler? I'm just going to measure in, go to 1. So the hole, I'm going to go in 3/16 right here, and the same on the other side. Right there. So this is where the hole needs to go on either side. And we need a pin vise. I'm going to drill a small hole through that. Now I already have my drill bit. Now when I figured out what drill I need something that this tubing is going to cover, right? So this drill bit here covers the hole inside. We're okay with that. And the outside, the square tube will cover the hole. So let's get this drilled out. Okay, so we have our holes drilled. You can see that here. So now we need to add on the legs that we made here. So I'm just going to glue these over the holes like this, and I want to center the post up in between so I have an even reveal between the front and the back. And then we're going to go with that. This is how it'll be. And I realize, you know, we're a little bit off on this side. It's a little bit further in than the other side. But I'm not going to sweat it. That'll be our legs. And I think we're okay with that. Dear. We're going to let that dry up for a little while. And give that time to harden before we go any further. For me, I'm going to put this in here, and then I need my sides. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this in here like this, and let's see, what's the best way to... I think these bottom edges, I think I have to do these, kind of freehand them. Okay, so that'll go like that. And this is what we're up to now. This is our sign. And this is what we're looking like. Now, the more I'm looking at this, the more one of these legs is looking just a little cockeyed in the video. So, I think I'm going to break one of these off, if I can. Yeah, you can just bend them a little bit. Like that. There. Alright, so now we're pretty good. That's our sign. We can get this out of here. We don't need that anymore. That's the sign that we're going to use. This is going to be our sign. And we need to let this all harden, and then I need to go through and we're going to fix up all these edges nice and clean. Okay, it takes a little, we're going to do a little bit of sanding around here, these little parts here, and the tops. We're going to get that all sanded down, and then we're going to take this over to the spray booth and spray this the color that it's going to go. And just an FYI, I think if you look back at the strip mall, it's kind of a green color. I think I'm going to spray this whole framework the color of the strip mall, just so that it all goes together. And so the process for painting this, I'm not going to show it. I'm going to do 2 coats of flat black, inside, outside, the whole thing. And then I'm going to come back and color coat the whole thing again. So that's how that's going to go. So it'll be 3 coats of paint, because I don't want any light making these sides glow at all, right? We want everything to be solid in the lighting effects. We don't want any lighting effects, you know, taking over anything else. So let me get this whole thing here sanded up and taken care of, and then when I get that all done, we'll come back and we'll start looking at the lighting that goes inside of here. Alright, so the sign is now dried, and this is what we end up with. This is what we got, and I think it looks pretty good. Alright, and when we set it down, it's going to look something like that. Okay, now it's time to make the cover, the face of this for both sides. So this is where the decal comes in. Alright, so we have our decal, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these apart. I'm not going to do the decal on video, because I would assume that, you know, you probably know how to do this already. And I didn't go into the making of the decals. These images I made them myself with Paint Shop, and then printed them on laser decal paper, and that's how these were made. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set these 2 decals. What I have is some clear window glazing. Okay, I have a small sheet of it here, and I'm going to put the decals onto this window glazing. This is left over from the other sign that I did, the last one, the used car dealer. So I'm going to do this now, and then we'll come back when I have the decals on here and cut apart. Alright, so I've cut out the decal here, and you can see I fit it into the sign, and this is what we're going to end up with. You can see it here. Now it's not lit yet, but that's our next step. And you can see it's finished on both sides the same. Okay. Now this will get glued in with what am I going to use? I'm going to use my Turbo Tacky glue. It's the same stuff I use to glue in the windows on the buildings and things like that. So we can take these out now and put these to the side. And keep in mind, these were glued, these were stuck decals that are stuck to the clear acetate here. I mean, it's just clear. The window material that you use keeps them nice and solid, and it's also see-through, so when we light the backside, everything works just fine. Now, for the lighting, we're going to use the same mini LEDs that I've always used in the past, that I've been using. And this is where that channel comes into play that's in the center of the light. So what we're looking at is this channel that we built with the two strips down the center here. Okay. Let's see, does that show? Sort of. You can kind of see the little channel that's right in here, and it goes all the way around. So what I need to do, that's where the LEDs are going to sit. And I found, I'm going to put a picture up, you'll see it, of the Car King sign. And I didn't do the channel because the sign was a little narrower than this one, and you can actually spot the LEDs behind the sign. But this, it should recess them back enough where it won't be so much of a problem. So what I want to do is I want to get a pencil, and one or two LEDs isn't going to do it because I want this lit really, really well. So what I need to do is we're going to put in the sign, and I want to mark on the side where the LEDs go. Okay, so I know I want one in the center of this sign right here. I'm going to put one in the center right here. I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to put one right here. So that's 4 down this side, and then I'm going to do another 4 down this side. So that's going to be 8 LEDs going into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some super glue out. Let's see, what have I done with it? Here it is. A little bit of super glue. Alright. And I'm going to run these bulbs right down in here. Take a little bit of super glue. I'm going to dump that right inside. And I'm not worrying about whether the glue is going to frost over the clear plastic. I don't care. It's not going to be enough to be a problem. So I'm going to glue these right in here. But I want to make sure, and actually I think I'm going to, I want to use, I have some kicker here too that I'm going to put on this because I don't want to be holding these for any amount of time. I want them to go right on there and dry, like right away. Right there. Like that. Okay. And I'm just going to follow this right down. And there should be enough room to run the wires down the side of the LEDs, and everything will be hidden. Alright, so all the LEDs are in now. And you can see I have all the wires coming out, and I've separated. I had them all come down one side because I don't want to have to drill 2 holes in the layout, right? So I have the reds all tied together and the blacks all tied together, and they are in there. It's not exactly the most elegant looking mess in there, but it will do the job. Okay, and the wires are running down the sides of the LEDs. Go. I don't know how well you can see that, but they are in there. I guess you can see them. And then they come down the bottom and all exit out the one leg. Now we can put the covers in now, and these are going to get glued down. I'm not going to glue them yet because I want to get all the resistor work done first. But these will go in here like this. And let's take a look at what that looks like. I have my power supply here. And I have this set to 3 volts because I don't have resistors. I'll put a resistor on it later when I'm ready to put it on the layout. There we go. Okay. So here's our light. Let's see if I can turn off one of these lights. There we go. Like that. And let's turn on the lights. And this is what we end up with. And I think it looks pretty darn good. There we go. My wires are touching here. So when you look at it, let's shut this one off. There we go. This camera's not seeing it so good. So anyway, that's the whole thing. And I like it. I think it looks pretty darn good. So now it's just a matter of gluing in these panels. Let's see if I can get you a little bit closer. Yeah. So there you go. So now it's just a matter of gluing in these panels and then installing the whole thing in the layout. Now I do have to add resistors to the lines here. I can't do this without adding resistors, right? So that we can run this on a 12 volt system. So I'll add a resistor. This is running at 3 volts right now. We need it to run at 12, so we'll add a resistor into here and some long lengths of wire off of it so that I can plug it into 12 volts. But that's pretty much it. That's the whole thing. Let's see, most of the wires don't show. Yeah, nothing really shows. There's a little bit of stuff showing along the edge here, just a small amount, but I don't think it's a bother to any of that. So I'm gonna call this a win. I think it's a definite win. I love how it came out. It's really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll throw it on the layout and get that installed. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. So the next part of the whole downtown is going to be adding figures and cars and things like that. And then someone had asked again about the car wash, and yes, the car wash is in process. I may actually finish, I think, the rest of that car wash on video. I've got it all figured out. We'll talk about that very soon. Maybe the next video. I've got to get my mind in the right mindset and get my stuff together, and I think we're going to start working on that. So I need to get it off my bench here. So maybe we'll do the rest of that on video. But that's it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the build. I hope maybe it gave you some ideas and things to do on your own. So anyway, if you're just finding me and you liked this build and you liked how it came out and everything, please, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Love to have you along. Lots of great stuff going on. So, until next time, everyone stay safe and happy modeling.